I think because T1 have really good neutral state where like you have the poke from the Varus, you know, you have the threat of like the Rise, you can also find some of that poke and the Gwen can get that on the flank. Nautilus is often picked up as the answer to Poppy instead. Out of all the engaged supports, his engage is limited the least by here because if you throw the Q, even if the Steadfast Presence comes out, still connect with it. So I feel like that's the reason they don't go for the Rakan there. I think Nongshim, their comp, you know, it's pretty straightforward with what they do in terms of setting up their engage. I think T1 have some options. I think their neutral state's pretty good. I think their 1-3-1 is pretty strong. They still have tools to play around with in the team fight in terms of dictating fights or even not opting into the fight with the Poppy ult. And it really comes down to this Varus as well, which I think the Varus we've seen take over so many games recently.
And this is Gumyushi as well. This guy is pretty good at Varus. I don't think we need very much introduction there. You guys know. And remember, guys, it's their home turf. It's very likely the tempo vibes are going to be on their side for this. I'm sorry, Ox. I should be. Okay, I'll focus. Okay, let's get into the Rift. Game number 1.
This low health bar off the Sivir is a lot more severe than it looks at first glance.
And also, as you can see, Ju just really wants to get this wave into an okay position. The exhaust goes down, and this is what I was saying. Ju, no ghost. Will need to flash. It was a decent flash direction, but he's still going to be in range of those scissors, and it's a solo kill for Doran. It's been a bad buy in the history of League of Legends. The Equalizer is going to come on through here for Kingen, who's walking an odd direction. The needlework comes on through, and Doran is just having a great old time here in this top lane.
Faker and Ona say, you know what? We'll take a free kill.
Yeah, they're going to look for it as Gideon wants to come on over, but unfortunately the monkey is a little too late, so he will slink back into the jungle. Oh, dearie me. That's a second kill for T1 as Carrier Steadfast Presence. Good timing, wasn't necessary. That's only because Lahenz's anchor was a little off. As Gio, okay, let's see whether he can find this one as he does. Spell Shield, a decent amount of damage here. Gumyushi's ultimate not doing too much as the flash over the wall is going to come on through as Carrier also going to get out of there. Thankfully had his flash back up and available again.
There's not that much DPS from Guma in these 2v2s, whereas you can just keep pumping damage.
Faker coming on over here as Gideon does smite, even though it's on 48 health. There's the exhaust down onto Calyx. Cyclone comes on through though as Doran. I know you're really strong, but you're not quite 1v3 strong just yet, as it's going to be another grub to be taken here. Nongshim will be able to lock that one down. Now Warrior Trickster and Spirit Rush going to be able to get these two over the wall, and instead it's actually Gideon having to flash. Warrior Trickster not quite up again, so we'll have to invest the Summoner spell, but still it's going to be 2 grubs out of the 3 over to Nongshim.
Oh, Jiwoo is in a lot of trouble.
Okay, this is feeling less legendy as he does get a phenomenal spell shield. Just probably not going to be enough as the Ignite is ticking down. One last tick, not going to be enough.
So
and he just
5 HP.
There we
5
go.
HP.
Calculated. This is Legend Group stuff, guys. This honestly, if it is, that's kind of crazy because we needed a fair bit of hindsighting to come up with this as the justification. Things are still moving further and further T1's direction.
Yes, Doran actually commits the ult there. Won't step up any further though, won't be punished.
Looks like he is just trying to clear the wave and going for a back.
Yeah. Looks like Nongshim. Oh,
Sometimes you cancel a back, and perhaps it's not a good move. Sneaky Monkey comes out of the brush, and they are all inside the circle. Gwen is not immune, and sometimes you just continue the channel, you know?
Yeah. And Faker gonna apply some pressure here. Should be able to get this plate. And that's, oh, they actually might find him.
Yeah, Lahens is coming down here as Faker can just walk into the Realm Warp, but he was right on top of Lahens. Lahens finds the ulti there as well, buys time for Jiu to make his way back, and Faker ain't flashing out of that one because Lahens was already over the wall, and Jiu grabs himself his first kill of the game.
Oh, Doran looking for Jiu.
Oh, he cancelled it. As of course I think Doran probably would have been able to, and Jiu is well and truly dead yet again. Solo killing Jiu. That is, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Owner taking a lot of damage here. Lahens trying to hold on. The Carrier just knocks Kingen up into the sky. Heroic Charge comes down, and Doran threads the needle as best he can. Was Kingen trying to get something off the back end, but he's not going to be able to do so. Now Lahens is in an awkward spot. Does get a max range dredge line. I don't know whether this will be getting him to safety, and it doesn't. In fact, but T1 just kind of did some big old leapfrogging and have found another advantage.
Yep.
Okay, Faker and Gideon fighting one another. Here's a Cyclone. As once more, Jiu going to be able to find a really nice spell shield. Faker having to get himself out of the way here. And the flash follow comes through from Gideon, who picks up a solo kill on the Rise, who is around the red buff. Ona takes a Rift Herald. We're doing things everywhere right now.
This ended up really unfortunate because the spell shield was really early, and then it was a mistimed charge.
No.
If it was a split second later, then Jiu was just dead.
And Feats of Strength actually going over to Nongshim as well, as thumbs up from Lahens, going for the BM play, but the exhaust is down. I don't know whether it really did too much, but a couple of summoner spells now on cooldown here for Carrier.
Latch Doran onto him.
Yeah, if you don't include Deaths versus Gwen, he's doing incredibly well.
Yeah, he is, you know.
Like, actually, he is doing incredibly well.
Oh.
Kingen having a little bit of a rough time here, as the equalizer will go down just to clear out the wave, but my goodness, that's what it feels like to be hit by the kitchen sink.
Do you see Nongshim pick up a dragon on the other side, though? But it's a good proactive play for T1. They will get a tower off the back of it.
As Otacon has been started,
I mean, it's just after 20 minutes, it's just spawned. Of course, T1 are going to start it. This is their new 20-minute Baron.
This is how you do it. Well, Lahens is going to spot out what's going on here as Keeper's Verdict gets rid of the monkey, and now there is just nothing that Nongshim can really do. The equalizer comes on through. That is going to be the smite. Locked down. Beautifully done here by T1 as there is the knock-up onto Doran. Flash out from Lahens, but the Needles are going to follow him. Now Calyx looking for his way forward. Does manage to get the charm onto Calyx here as the Realm Warp trying to get T1 out. Carrier dives forward, wants to just buy some space, and he'll get it. Calyx, though, throws out the charm, gets some flashes, but not too much more. Faker and Gumayusi having to use those summoners to get out, but feels a bit like highway robbery, ladies and gentlemen. The Otacon, a powerful buff. Very good. All right, bit of a dive here on this top side of the map, as Faker could be in trouble, and by could be, I mean definitely is. Calyx tanking up this turret for way too long, though, and Faker will just get back to clearing out this wave. So never you mind, they just didn't have the damage, didn't hit enough buttons, and the blue guy is going to be able to walk away.
Yeah, he just picked up his Seraphs on his last back, so that extra shield came in really clutch there. Really big on the Rise as well. Now they're looking for the Ahri, who has no ultimate.
Well, Gideon does come on over here and just gets blast coned back by Carrier, who is just going about his business. They will find the Ahri, as Lahens also finding an awkward angle. That is going to be ulti spell shielded by Jiu really nicely against Carrier, as Realm Warp does get Faker completely out of there. Ona has to get away as well. He'll have to flash. I mean, Baron's up in 30 seconds time. I think they had time to be able to get over and at least test this.
Maybe they're never getting it back.
Well, that is going to be the Cyclone connecting onto Carrier, but the anchor does not land. Second Cyclone is going to be enough to put down the Poppy. As now Calyx going forward will get knocked up by the Flag and Drag, but Gumayusi's in no man's land. He's just dead. And Nongshim getting 2 quick kills. Doran now dashing around here looking for Kingen. Kingen trying to keep him interested so that Jiu can come over and get even more. And now that the Baron has spawned and there are 2 dead on the side of T1, Nongshim are feeling like they have a chance to take it.
Yeah, they're up. Looks like they're resetting the Gwen, so I think they might just go for a steal. It's risky, but Ona is alive.
Yep, Faker seeing what he can do here. Hook is going to connect there as they're looking to distract Ona. The Cataclysm comes on through. Down he goes, and that is going to mean the Baron goes over to Nongshim as well. And I thought giving up that Drake wasn't going to work, but with the pick, oh my God, was it beautiful here from Nongshim.
Yeah, we'll see who gets caught on the exit, though. Great charm will stop Faker, but I think Kingen might be...
Look at that pesky ward spotting him out, as he's going to try and go for the empowered recall, as Doran will take a bit of damage, but in the meantime, it's just Kingen dead. So that is 1 Baron removed.
Should be able to get out.
Well, Lens knows exactly where he Realm Warps to, by the looks of things, as he did manage to find it last time around, as now he's boosting on over. Does have the Cinders. Depth Charge going to be able to knock him up, and then he picks him up with the Anchor. Another Cyclone is going to deliver Faker another death here, as 0-3-0 is unfortunately going to be on that scorecard. As Jiu is just being bait right now, as Calyx, he's going to take it. The Chains of Corruption come down. It's a very early Zhonya's as Faker does get hooked, but maybe it's an overextension this time for Lahens. Doran goes in. I don't know about that, as the Keeper's Verdict will knock the monkey away, and down goes the Sivir. T1 find their prize, and down goes Nongshim. Gideon just had to watch from the sidelines as he had to vacate via a gigantic hammer. And that is 3,500 kills for Faker.
He finds it now, Realm Warping the minions. Looks like they're going to try for the end on the back of that fight. T1, give them an inch, and they'll take a mile. It's only Gideon up to see if he can try and defend 1v5.
Yep, Gumushi going to be tanking that turret, keeps these minions alive, and T1 continuing to push. I mean, it's a little bit dicey. Lehens is up in 2 seconds, but him and Lehens, I don't even know whether they're going to be able to stop this. First Nexus turret does go down. The second one is going to evaporate. There is so much damage. Gideon goes down. Lehens cannot stop it. And there goes the game in the blink of an eye. T1 just say, nah, we win these. It felt like Nongshim were really carrying that game under, like, it was running at the beat of their drum, right? Like, they were able to move over toward that bottom side. They set up the catch, and then you make one mistake and T1 say, no, the game is ours. That's a no-brainer. It'd be so much power. Don't scare us like that. Come on, man. Keria instead going to do his signature pick here.
Nongshim end up with this composition. They have a ton of protection for the center. They're kind of banking on the fact that she'll become this long-range cannon who can just attack from such a distance. And if you try and dive in, they have a lot of bulky champions to kind of peel, and the Viego has the kind of throughput in fights. He has that reset potential. So I think DPS-wise, they would struggle without that. On the side of T1, they have that knock Orianna combo, and they can kind of open up with the artillery backing that up. The Jhin Bard is a pretty punishing lane. They should have prior mid as well with the Orianna. I think ultimately, I think it's hard to wait too. I mean, I kind of feel like the Nocturne Orianna, specifically into the center Tom, is going to have struggles. It really comes down to if they can find some momentum. And we've seen, obviously, very different teams. DNF, our team who has made use of this Nocturne Orianna. We've seen how it can work and how it can not work. We'll see how T1 manages combo in comparison.
It is time for us to get into the game. And I think there'll be fan chants today.
I think it really comes down to, I mean, it's a good start in the bot lane already. I mean, mid expectation is Faker's going to have prior on this matchup.
There aren't very many of them, are there?
You have two champions that go,
oh God. Okay, Lehens is going to go in. He does find the knock-up onto Gumushi, who's snared. Does have to cleanse that one off as the barrier is going to be used in exchange. But look at this. Lehens is just happily wandering amongst them. Owner and Gideon going to be fighting as now Nongshim do get the earlier track to try and find this. Good spell shield there from Owner as Gideon getting taken down very low. Lehens turning up will mean that the crab will be delivered to Gideon. Not to mention the fact that Calyx has a bit of control in this mid lane as well. That swap is actually working out pretty well so far for Nongshim. As you can see, Lehens holding his position. Oh man, Gumushi could be in trouble. Remember, no cleanse available. Keria going to turn up as there is the mystical journey, and that will just get him out. See, like we knew, this was just going to happen, right? Doran's going to flash in, there's a solid kill. Like, what did we tell you?
It was so obvious. I mean, yes, we saw this last game, but also it's a level 6 on best, so what do you expect?
To die.
Yeah, I just, you know...
Oh, Vega could be in a little bit of trouble here as Kingin looking to charge that ulti. Dissonance going to slow him down, though, as the shockwave comes in. Calyx might need to just... Yeah, okay, no, instead doesn't actually elect to use the ultimate, but Faker is now in trouble. The Colossal Smash comes down. Command Protect is going to be there, but another round of spells should be coming. He has Flash, but he doesn't actually use it. Faker able to escape is now Gideon getting scared, and he can understand why he does have to heartbreak out.
I feel like they've kind of given up complete control over this top side.
Well, Doran going in against Jiu and Lehens. Another public execution, another possibly dead Jiu here as he does get the Piercing Darkness, keeps himself alive. The Dawning Shadow as the last turret shot comes in, but there are even more bullets on this map, and the curtains have been called on Jiu's life once again. He almost got his revenge, but he just doesn't quite manage to nail it as Calyx not going to be dying just yet either as Gideon coming on over, gets the flash on in. Heroic entrance, Faker going to get knocked up and probably taken down here as he has no flash and no chance to get out. Gideon will get his first here of the game. Kicking in with a slight CS advantage, but the gold lead is still going to be there as another Abyssal Dive to come on through from Lehens. We're not going to get the knock up on the Gumushi as Keria comes on over. Jiu needs to help out as this Catfish is sort of just running into two people. Captive Audience going to slow him down momentarily, and Keria keeping the fight up as there is the Devour going to get utilized. Flash out immediately, Grey Health consumed, and Keria magically journeys his way to safety. It's a lot of buttons now on cooldown, but do you remember when Rengar had his Bone Tooth necklace?
Yeah.
That was my favorite stacking. As Calyx, this is his least favorite moment. Never mind! He's going to turn it around. The Dawning Shadow comes in. Carrier trying to keep Faker alive as the magical journey is unable to be taken by the metal ballerina, and Faker just goes down. That turn from Nongshim was gorgeous.
Feels a little bit crazy they're able to get this one considering Fake is dead. And I think Nongshim agree. Moving over now.
Yep. The Catfish does not approve. And there is the flash in from Gideon. Actually, no, it was just a dash in from Gideon. Comes out of the mist and secures the Drake. A lot of vision actually very accurately placed by both teams, meaning that it's a bit of information overload. There is the paranoia though. And Jiu, this time going to be able to move over to his teammates. Devour comes through from Lehens this time, and that will keep him alive. The flash out as Gideon looks for that reset. There is the tongue lash, and down goes the Nocturne. Feats of Warfare alongside it. As man, that Dustbringer coming out from Gideon was terrifying. Gumayusi going to be able to break those chains though, not getting scared. In unison here between our top laners as Gideon finds Carrier, but Owner is lying in wait. There is the combo as Lehens can just gobble up the Viego. Gumayusi coming on over, Dawning Shadow comes in. The shield is there, and this Tahm Kench is so tanky. Down goes the Viego though, and the Tahm Kench is just on a silver platter, surrounded by T1 members. And that was not the fight Nongshim were looking for that time, as Kingin had teleported in, and now he is likely to just get sent home in a body bag. Not quite able to flash out of the way, but still having to use everything to just try and escape. And what happened? Maybe they thought that Galio might sometimes be involved. As Kingin has found Owner, he goes all out actually, as Faker will turn up. Kingin will get shockwaved as well, as now he's just possibly in trouble. But he'll get healed up by the Piercing Darkness. Carrier comes over. There is the Tempered Fate, will connect onto Kingin as he eats a lot of the CC. Redemption going to be doing a fair bit of damage as well, as Owner is sped up by the Dissonance. Man, didn't know that was part of the combo, as they are going to be able to get the stun. There is the Public Execution as well, and it's Doran that uses that as a way to taxi over to Jiu, who will get shielded up. That is everything that Nongshim had just to keep 3 members alive. Curtain's getting cold here, as you can see Gumayusi fishing for it. Lehens will get stopped on the back, and you can see that Jiu is out of range. So, will the drift... Oh, that was cold.
Oh!
That was gorgeous.
There we go. Slick with it.
Yep. Can actually provide a magical journey for Faker as well, so that Faker can experience exactly what Carrier just did, without being able to actually do anything that they really needed to do, you know? As, all right, Paranoia has been popped here as it's another fight. Doran taking a little bit of damage. The Redemption down here for T1 just to try and keep them alive as Kingin is dead. But Nongshim, not quite...
He didn't need to do that.
He did not need to do that, but it was sometimes rush of blood to the head. I mean, I remember seeing a similar play to that. And that you've got Carrier lying in wait, and moving over as well.
Been up for 30 whole seconds, and it's a little bit late for T1, I feel.
Yeah, let's chill. As Shockwave connects onto 2. Atakan down to 50%, teleport in here from Doran. The answering teleport is going to result as Calyx can make his way down. There's the Paranoia. Dawning Shadow doing decent damage actually, as now the Galio comes in. It's a one-man taunt, but it's onto Gumayusi as they do manage to take the Atakan, and the magical journey brings them all out. Follow that! Do never follow that! Instead, it's a heroic play from Lehens that gets over the wall, and it is going to be Carrier that goes down. Abyssal dive here as Lehens. He's like, man, do I have to do everything myself? And the answer is absolutely. Another public execution there for Doran onto himself.
Oh no.
Well, Lehens gets a little bit scared, looks to try and dive away. Heroic entrance is going to be there this time, as my god, he survives for so long. Owner is probably dead here, as he looks for a target to try and taxi his way out of the way of, and there is a flash over. Paranoia on top of the Cassante to try and get himself out, but that is not going to work. So,
they are going to look for Doran.
Okay, well, they are probably just going to kill him as well, as he cannot publicly execute himself out of that one. And Gideon going to be able to lock down the kill. Doran really has had a little bit of a vacation moment towards the end of this particular game.
He's down for 30 seconds. He should just be able to take it. T1 decide to let it go, you know. It's only second dragon for Nongshim. They don't have the top lane available.
Baker is just going to get ulted on here as Gideon comes over, flashes out of the shockwave. There's the Paranoia, and the stun comes in, but down goes Gideon, and Faker, he's just baited them all in Let's see whether Gio can make this one happen, but he has to sidestep the Tempered Fate. Owner is still chasing. Faker is still alive. The Dawning Shadow's not enough as finally the Galio will be able to secure the kill, but Nongshim have well and truly overextended at this point in time. And how many times does Faker have to do this for people to learn that you should not try to chase this man?
And one after another, they fall apart. T1 gonna get the Baron. Oh, Calyx.
He just kind of walks at them. He's been doing this all game, and it's impressive, the bravery.
You know what? That's solidarity.
Yeah.
He'll die with his team.
He will. And Guma just a few bullets. The last one in the chamber here, as we can see, as he does cleanse. That is a cooldown that they do need to be wary of, but the curtains are going to get called here. And down goes this inhibitor turret. There's the shockwave combo. They find it. The bullet's going to ring true as well. Deadly flourish. My God, Gumiushi. Do not give this man the Jhin or the Varus, and they did both in this series. As Kingan's going to go down, and once again, you might blink and miss it. As T1 will just close out this game number 2. And my goodness, what a week for this team, taking down Gen G, going from strength to strength here with a swift 2-0 over Nongshim, feeling like they're back here in round 3.
Yeah, I think this ability to decide he's just going to win is pretty effective.
Yeah, it's a good one.
A valuable one to have as a League of Legends player.
Must really show you that you've got the support out there, as Carrier going to go for a bit of a nap, so we didn't actually see it. We're going to see, look, yeah, that's absurd amounts of damage. And it's not like this game was a stomp from go to woe, right? Like, this was relatively even, you know, until it fell off a cliff towards the end. It's impressive stuff out of Gumiushi. I mean, this guy's Jhin is absolutely fantastic. We mentioned it at the end of the game, but his Jhin, his Varus, so good. And Carrier is going to pick up POM, sorry. Would have got POG if we still had it for definitely this game, but I thought the Poppy was also absolutely outstanding.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason for the POM interview translation. Let's welcome Kyria on the side of T1 after their clean to a win up against Nongshim Red Force. T1 is undefeated on the LCK Roadshow T1 home ground. How does it feel to get your revenge on Nongshim after that round 2 loss? I'm very happy that we managed to get our revenge, and us T1 LOL fan and then even the Valorant team didn't drop a single match, so I'm very glad that we were able to get this outcome. And Kyria, you are the back-to-back POM. What part of your performance are you most satisfied with? I thought, you know, either Doran or Owner performed really well, but I think I got some extra points by lending a lot of skills as Bard. Well, it was a 2-0 victory, a clean scoreline, but Nongshim Red Force was also on fire. What was the most tricky part playing up against them, and how did you plan to break through? Yeah, Nongshim is a very strong team, and Lehans as a support, he is a very strong pillar that brings a team together really well, so I kept that in mind. Kyria, your Poppy in game number 1 was phenomenal. Even after giving a Baron and letting Nongshim get that momentum, you shut it down in one last team fight. How did you find that angle? After they got the Baron, I still thought that we do kind of had the lead. I never thought that we were, you know, very behind. So I think one team fight was able to clean everything up. And then game 2. Enemy kind of banned out many AD jungle champs and kind of forced Nocturne on the side of T1. So how did you plan to deal with the drafting? I knew they were just gonna go for the kind of reactionary comp. So when we were drafting the bottom duo, there were a lot of options, and then Bard was the pick that could kind of round out the comp and kind of make a lot of follow-ups for the teammates, so I went for that. That Bard was just a menace, you know. You definitely showed your Bard top-tier performance. How would you like to rate your Bard performance on a scale of 10? The fans are saying 10. I would say 10 out of 10. With today's win, Faker also hit his 3,500 LCK kills, the first ever player to do it. Any words of congratulations for Faker on this historic moment for him? 3.5k kills. I mean, I don't think no one is even close to Faker's kill record. I hope we can, maybe I can close the gap on the assist leaderboard. But still, we are a team, so I'm just glad that we are just making new records, new history together. A huge win on a huge stage, and the crowd, the fans, were behind you the whole way. I think with this momentum, T1 must feel even more fired up for what's ahead. Any message to the fans who cheered you on so passionately throughout the roadshow? Yeah, with this back-to-back schedule, we were able to get a lot of energy from the fans, and we were having so much fun together. Back in the low park, I hope we can do well. I mean, we can do even better. That's our goal. So with your, energetic support, I hope we can put up even stronger performance back in the low park. That was Keria from T1 after their victory up against Dongsin Radforce. And I'm gonna pass it back to the space. Thank you.